all-nighter-holic, and I am so excited to talk with y'all today. I have a fun subject. This is my YouTube channel. I meet with y'all weekly. That's my goal. Just to talk about what I'm going through, what I'm figuring out, what I'm learning about life, you know, just sharing tips and tricks. I'm not saying what I'm going through and what tools I'm figuring out are going to work for you, but I'm just giving you another outlet of things to try. My mission is to show and inspire those in the dark that no matter how stuck you feel, that there's always a way out, and I just want to kind of use myself as an example of that. And I'm kind of a recovering perfectionist, and I just want to use my life as an experiment and kind of just do that publicly and just be really transparent and just kind of show you where I am, because I've made some really big leaps recently and I'm finding things that work, and I hadn't found things that worked for a really long time. So I just want to, use it as an outlet to express myself, but also maybe in a way that if anything I have to say that helps, that it maybe can help somebody. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's what I'm going for, okay? My topic today is sleep. And it's going to be advice from a recovering all-nighter-holic. I'm just going to go into some tips and tricks that have worked for me. Also, I kind of want to give you a little bit of a background of where I'm coming from. On a first note, I'm drinking Powerade Zero. It's the blue one. It says no sugar, so it probably has aspartame in it, and that drives me nuts, but it's really good. So we're just going to push through that. And I don't think it does. No, it doesn't even have aspartame in it, but it has a lot of words that I can't read, and they say if you can't read it, don't drink it. Cheers to that. Do as I say, not as I do. That's a good lesson from my dad. We'll add that into the adult handbook as well. It would be cool if my kids someday watch this and then they're like, oh God, my mom is a mess, because that's all I think they're gonna get from this, because I am a mess. But I'm 24. I'm in engineering school, specifically civil engineering. I have been in it I'm going into my 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going into my 5th semester. I intend to graduate in fall 2020, and there's just this huge culture. And if you're in STEM, I'm sure you know about it, especially I'm sure in engineering and med. If you're not sleeping, you're a loser. I feel like that's kind of the idea that's being presented around everywhere. Like, it's kind of always like oh, how many nights did you stay up before this exam? Or, oh, I've been up for 48 hours straight, and I did that a lot. My very first semester, I did it all the time. I came out with some really, really great grades. I decided to up my hours from 12 to 15 the following semester. Had a lot of family things go on, and my body was just, starting to like really, 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 really hate me. And so that happened. I didn't learn the lesson then. I continued into summer. This would be summer of 2018. Took 9 hours, I think, 8 hours, something like that, and was just still wearing myself down. And then fall of 2018, this past semester, I kind of just completely lost my shit and had to really go back to the basics and decide, what my priorities were and what I needed to do to get where I wanted to go. And at the time, with 2 years ahead of me in school, I knew that it wasn't sustainable to be able to pull all-nighters repeatedly. Yeah, I could have probably did it for one more semester if that's all I had to do was push through it, but I had 2 years, and I knew that 2 years going at the rate that I was going, I wasn't going to make it. So I actually got into counseling, and she's helped me so much. Don't we'll talk about that later, but don't feel ashamed for needing help. And that is actually what got me to be in a better place, is finally admitting to people that that I don't have it all together, that I wasn't happy, that I was losing my mind, and that I needed help. And like just finally admitting that started this, it was not pretty, it was not enjoyable, it was not fun, there was nothing good about it, but it actually started, some momentum to put me in the right direction. And basically what I would do is I would just, I would, pull all-nighters for homework. I would, because, it's like, it's not only classes, there's internships, work, assignments, projects, you want to see your friends if that's possible. So I would say, and we have 2 sets of midterms. We have like 1 set, and then we have like 2 weeks, and then we have another set, and then we have a little while, and then we have finals. And so I would, and then all this time, everyone has their homework, do their projects, do all of this stuff, and we're all doing it. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm not the only one. This is just the mentality. And so I would say have 2 to 5 midterms in a week, and so I would pull all-nighters and then try to get some sleep before the next one, but then I'd have to pull all-nighter for that. So I would really just burn myself out, and then on the weekend I'd have homework I needed to do that I planned to do, but my body would be so exhausted that I would just sleep. And then Monday came and I was already behind, and I hate being behind. I hate feeling rushed. Those are like 2 of my biggest pet peeves. And so it just sucks that your Monday, you're already behind. That's not a good feeling. I like to try to get ahead on things and not feel stressed and rushed. And and then I'd be mad at myself, even though what I was doing wasn't sustainable. I'd be like, oh, well, why can't you be the superhuman that doesn't sleep and always gets everything done and also makes great grades and money and blah, 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 and skirts, all that kind of stuff. And so I finally just broke down, and instead of like a breakdown, I just stopped caring. I stopped doing stuff. I was just like, fuck it. And that's not a good coping mechanism. It really, 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 really is not. And I thought I was just going to completely blow last semester, but somehow I came through and I made it. But everyone, would sit and tell me how important sleep was, and I knew it. Like, intellectually, I knew, you have to sleep to survive, you have to eat to survive, you have to drink, water. There's just a particular set of things that you must do to keep your human alive and functioning. And so I got it, but whenever I got into counseling, she finally, she finally got through that layer of intellectual, but the step back that actually understood how important it was, and she kind of got that all-nighters are a must mentality out of my head. And she was like, if you can't sleep, you can't anything. And so I finally started sleeping. I made it a huge priority. And I just kind of want to get into some things I did. Fortunately for me, I had some time, because this is something I really, really worked on between the fall and spring semester, so I had a month off. So yeah, I worked, but I had a month off of school, which was beautiful. So fortunately, I had the luxury of being able to figure out how much sleep my body needed. And what I mean by this is that I would go to bed and I wouldn't set an alarm, and then I would just let my body wake up whenever it woke up. And to step back, I used to think that I needed 10 to 12 hours of sleep, and then I would just always sleep. And so I just thought that that's how my body needed, but that's what my body needed whenever I had no consistent sleep schedule. And what I mean by this is it's called sleep hygiene, and I love to say this. I was the armpit of sleep hygiene. I had none. It was just disgusting. It was nasty. It was stinky. It was horrible. And so I started to establish a sleep routine and improve my sleep hygiene. And by doing this, like over break, I would just, I wouldn't stay up late. Instead of going out and partying and staying up late and having, like watching movies and, doing whatever I wanted to do, I was like, okay, I'm going to be an old lady and I'm going to go to sleep. And during this process, at first it was like go to sleep before midnight, and then my body would naturally wake up like 9-ish, I can't really remember, but I'm thinking around that time. And then I was like, okay, let's go to bed before 11, and then it got down to 10:30, and that's kind of where I'm at, like between, I always want to go to bed before midnight. That's like my hard goal, like my hard boundary, but usually I'd like to go to sleep like around 10 or 11. And that doesn't mean like sometimes I don't go to bed at 1, and that doesn't mean sometimes I don't go to bed at 8. It just depends on where I'm at, what's going on. And I made sleep a priority above everything, and that's been hard. And I've still been battling with that. And it's like, oh, well, I have these homework assignments and blah, 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 blah. Well, whether you make it 85 or 100 on the assignment, and one requires you getting 3 hours of sleep, one requires you getting, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, I'm going to choose the 85 on that assignment and get sleep. And maybe that's, no, I don't even think that's a bad idea. I think that's a good call. It's because I'm choosing sleep as a priority over making a 90 to 100 or whatever. And so after a while, my body started getting into a rhythm where I'd start getting sleepy. Sleepy, that sounds funny. I get tired around, like 9, 10, things like that. And then I'd start waking up. And my thing to do is that I like to wake up at the same time every morning, like even on the weekend. So right now it's about 7 a.m. and my goal is to get it to, like, honestly I want to wake up at like 5, but my goal right now is 5:45. And like yesterday I woke up at 5:30. It was beautiful and I got a lot of stuff done. But I like the mornings now. It's weird, I've kind of turned into a morning person. And and I think it's because I've just let my body find what it wanted to do. So unfortunately you might not have that ability because you work full time to be able to sit and figure out when your body wants to wake up or how much sleep you need. But if you have, a vacation or a long weekend or something, I would definitely try testing this out and seeing if, you can get any get any data from yourself. I have a Fitbit. I had it on, but I took it off before I went in the shower, and then it didn't get back on me, so I need to put it on. But I like to see how much sleep I need, and I've actually learned that instead of 10 to 12 hours of sleep like I thought, I really only need 7. My body pretty much always wakes up at 7 hours of sleep. And so no matter what time I go to bed, because it's harder to control what time I go to bed, and it's easier to control what time I wake up, I try to keep a very consistent wake up time, and my bedtime I just try to keep it before midnight. And then I try to make sure that there's a little over 7 hours of sleep so that I can fall asleep, and then you're not asleep the whole time. And I feel like I'm talking so fast. Let me take a breath. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking so fast, but some techniques that I've learned are having a consistent nighttime routine. Nighttime routines are beautiful. I used to run away from routines or keep up with them for like 3 days and then they'd fall. But now I have a very consistent nighttime routine. I keep track of it. I write down the things that I want to do in my planner, and then I cross them off. For a little while I made I didn't finish with it, so it's not done well, but I had little things where I'd go through and color it in if I did it, but I like crossing out things more. I'm weird. I'd rather cross something out than color it. So I've gone back to the way I was initially doing it. And so having a good nighttime routine is very key because it kind of lets your body know, oh, it's time to go to bed soon. And this is not rocket science, okay? Like, you can go and find my advice anywhere. Get on Pinterest, get on the internet, ask, any successful person. They're probably going to say a lot of these things, but I'm just coming from my experience, my perspective, and like I said, my life is an experiment, and I want to share that, so I'm just showing you what's worked for me, and I'm not saying to do it, I'm just telling you what's working for me. And so I have a nighttime routine, and I'll do like an episode on nighttime routines later, so I won't get like super into it, but basically I do the nighttime routine, and then I was putting my phone like over on my desk, so that's my bed right into there, and we're at my desk, and so I put my phone over here, and that would help. And I used to fall asleep with my phone in my hand. I'd get in bed at 1, and then I'd be playing on my phone, and before I knew it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a 8 a.m. class or something, and that's not good. That's not a good way to live your life. And then the anxiety that comes with, oh my gosh, calculating your sleep, how much sleep you're gonna get, and then the anxiety of, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get that much sleep, and I have so much to do tomorrow. That weighs on you, and then before you know it, it's like 5 a.m. or the sun's coming up. Like, I would pull all-nighters and not do them on purpose. Like, I wouldn't be studying. I would just be sitting there, and I couldn't sleep. And I think it's because my body had I had no structure, and I just needed some freaking structure. But so now I've been turning my phone off. If you use your phone for an alarm, that won't work, but I have a separate alarm. I have like a little purple alarm clock that I do not keep in my room. I put it in my bathroom. I try to keep it far away from my bed so that I don't just like roll over, slap it, and then roll back over and go to sleep, because I do that. I love to sleep. Sleep is my best friend. So I started moving it to my bathroom, and the success rate of me actually getting up and staying up has increased exponentially. Of course, I don't do it all the time. I'm not always successful, but it happens a lot more. Also, another thing is, and I love talking about this, so I'll probably do a separate video, but I choose consistency now over perfection. I used to be, if you didn't wake up at 6 a.m. this morning and it's Monday, scrap the whole week, and start again next Monday, or, eat healthy, and then eat 3 packs of Swiss cake rolls on Wednesday. Oh, you screwed up, start next Monday. And then so I would eat really, really bad the rest of the week because I knew that I'd start over again on Monday, and then I'd have to be perfect and never have anything. So I would be like, doing all this bad stuff from Wednesday till Sunday, and then Monday I'd come again and I'd eat perfect, and then Tuesday I would eat Whataburger or something. I'm from Texas, so that kind of gave it away. But I've just decided, okay, so say I eat those 3 Swiss cake rolls, say I don't do my nighttime routine, say I don't wake up exactly whenever I said I wanted to. Let's just do better from then on, because maybe even it's my big mistake that you made, that little mistake there, and then you continuing to get back on track, maybe you have another little mistake during that week, or maybe you have 5 or whatever. That is so much better than just giving up and having to start over on Monday and then quitting whenever you're not perfect again. That it's like doing things more often than not over a long period of time is better than being perfect for a short amount of time in short intervals, And so that's really, really, really changed my whole mindset, because I've always just been like, you know, I'll create some examples whenever I make a video for it, but that's just always been a thing. So, also, one thing I want to try is I want to put my alarm clock under my bed. That might scare the crap out of me, but I'm curious that if that would help get me out of bed earlier, or, you know, even more consistently, because I would have to like crawl under the bed and get it, but maybe I'll just fall asleep on the floor. You never know. But yeah, so separate alarm clock because your phone's off. And I know it's really hard to turn your phone off, especially if, you know, you have it in your hand all the time. But turn it off and get it rid of you, like get it away from you. That is some of the best sleep I ever have, is when my phone is off. I love it. Another thing, so separate alarm clock, turn your phone off. You could even move your alarm clock around places. Keeping it like in inconsistent places makes you have to go chase it in different locations, so that might, you know, be able to get your brain up. And then I have a sleep noise maker. That little white thing right there is a humidifier. So like you put water in it and essential oils, and I put lavender in it in the nighttime, and I put peppermint oil in it when I'm studying. They say peppermint's good for increasing brain function or something or another. And so at night I put lavender in it, and then you can press a button and it does bird noises or waves or rain or blah 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 blah, or white noise, I think. So I always do the water one. And I turn off all my lights. I do not fall asleep watching TV, because I've done this before. Like, I go through phases where I fall asleep watching TV, and you never know if I'm gonna fall asleep during the first episode or if I'm gonna finish the whole season in one night. So I always make sure that all electronics are off, and I try to do that, you know, like give myself some technology free time during my nighttime routine, but I'm not always perfect about that. And then I read a book. That helps. Like, I get really sleepy. Sometimes I fall asleep reading the book, and it's not like I get through a whole book, because watching a whole series on Netflix and reading a book are two different, you know, monsters. And then, you know, I sleep my 7 hours, and then I wake up, and it seems like I am in a lot more control now. I feel like before, everything was just like kind of on a whim. You know, like I wasn't in control of my own situation, and I feel like now that I finally am, and that just feels really, really, really good. So, if you have any, you know, anything for me to try, I always love trying new things. Again, like I said, my life is an experiment. So if you have anything that works for you, please share. Also, if you try anything that I have done, please let me know how it worked for you. And it's been great talking with y'all, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful, it's actually, what day is today? I think it's like Monday, January 28th. It's the 27th or the 28th, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm bad. I should know what date it is. I always like to say the date on my videos. Okay, yeah, it's Monday, January 28th. And this video was about sleep advice from a recovering all-nighter-holic. And so just please subscribe to my channel if you have not. Leave a comment if you love it, hate it, have any questions, comments, or concerns. And Bun and I, my little baby Bun, and I say have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye.